More than 2 months after release, it's still not possible to pirate Just Cause 3. The same is true for Rise of the Tomb Raider, released for PC in late January. Cracking computer games used to be measured in hours or days, but now it's turning into weeks and months. The nature of piracy is changing in a big way, largely thanks to a company named Denuvo. The surest sign of this was a rare note of surrender from China-based cracking team 3DM, one of the world's most popular cracking groups. They've made waves recently for suggesting there will be no more free games to play in 2 years. They've reportedly backed away from cracking single-player games too, but there's some dispute over those reports. 3DM and every other group in the cracking scene has frustratingly banged their head against the piracy roadblock that is the relatively new Anti-Tamper Tech from the Austrian company Denuvo. That's the tech that Square Enix used to protect Just Cause 3, the tech they also used for the new Tomb Raider, and the tech that Ubisoft is using on next week's Far Cry Primal. Anti-Tamper, according to Denuvo, is different from Digital Rights Management, or DRM. A company spokesperson recently told me, Anti-Tamper prevents the debugging, reverse engineering, and changing of executable files. That's a confusing non-explanation about how Denuvo works, but of course Denuvo seems to have pirates on their heels, so it's not a surprise they're not spilling their dark secrets to me. The million-dollar question is this: what makes Anti-Tamper so hard to crack? Breaking Denuvo's AntiTamper Tech, even for a single game, amounts to a trade secret in these circles. Denuvo doesn't have much incentive to give any answers, so I asked a few hackers to take a look at it. Denuvo works as a shield for existing DRM protections baked into PC services like Steam and Origin. According to everyone I talked to, though, it's trivial to get around Steam's DRM. A hacker who goes by the pseudonym MTW told me, "It is business as usual to see cracks for Steam games within minutes of the game's Australian release. This is a bad sign. DRM should not take single-digit minutes to crack. There are other non-Denuvo DRM solutions for Steam games. None of them are worth a shit." Denuvo uses a unique piggybacking approach. Because Steam and Origin require an internet connection to buy, purchase, and authenticate a game the first time around, Denuvo can essentially ride this wave and collect details about the computer to, in a sense, generate a unique key for that copy of the game. If the game isn't running on that exact machine, the game can assume the game has been pirated. The same hacker I spoke with said this made things infinitely more complicated. Machine-specific triggers are peppered everywhere. The game will appear to be insanely buggy, but it's just copy protection crap. Game developers get to specify points in gameplay where they want a copy protection trigger. A game can be unplayable. In other words, even if a cracking team can get the game running, it can't assume it'll remain stable. Further complicating matters, even when a game is cracked, all Denuvo has to do is issue an update with DLC or a patch, and the game becomes locked all over again, an endless cycle between the developer, Denuvo, and the hackers. Anti-Tamper Tech has reportedly been used in games recently from Electronic Arts, Warner Bros., Square Enix, Ubisoft, Konami, and CI Games. The company doesn't publicly list clients. And interestingly, Denuvo isn't even claiming it can protect games forever. No DRM or anti-tamper solution can stop piracy entirely. The goal of Denuvo Anti-Tamper is to keep a game piracy-free for a game's initial sales release window when most of the sales are made. For Just Cause 3, that's 78 days. For Rise of the Tomb Raider, that's 20 days. Denuvo's longest record is 272 days for Lords of the Fallen, a Dark Souls-style game from late 2014. Just Cause 3 will be cracked at some point, and so will Rise of the Tomb Raider. The question is what happens in a world where people don't know when that'll happen. Will sales go up as pirates grumble and buy more real copies, or are they willing to wait? Even Electronic Arts' new cutesy platformer Unravel has Denuvo's protection. It may not be long before most games do.